planning a wedding and feeling overwhelmed? Well, Simply Eloped makes it easy. With over 14,000 elopements and vow renewals planned in 37 stunning U.S. destinations, their planners got you covered. All-inclusive packages connect you with over 700 incredible vendors, which will cut your stress, your cost, and the complexity. They're a people core business in the age of AI. Just head on over to simplyelope.com to start your journey. That's simplyeloped.com. You know, back in the 1960s, Elvis sang that he wished there were more than 24 hours in the day to spend in Las Vegas. But do we even stay open for the 24 anymore? Today on CityCast Las Vegas, we revisit a fun convo with Vegas observers Brent Holmes and Giselle D'souza about how our 24/7 isn't what it once was, but now that the nights are getting longer, where we could still go to make the most of Vegas in the wee hours. It's Thursday, November 20th. I'm Dayvid Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Hey, Brent. Hey, Giselle. Thanks for being on the podcast today.
Hey, David. Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Well, I know you both as people who really enjoy getting out and about in our city, and I have seen you both out late. So what are some of your favorite memories of living the 24-hour life in Las Vegas? Giselle, why don't you go first?
So one of my favorite things, actually, even when I was, here actually at UNLV, went to college here, middle of the night, sometimes I'd be like, wow, it's 3:00. I just got done studying. I'm not ready for bed yet. I'm wide awake, and I'm a little hungry. Well, there's a bunch of spots that you could go eat, even at that time, even now. And one of my favorite memories, we all know the Tacos El Gordo around here, right? So yeah, that was a very common late night spot for me that I could go anytime, grab a taco, hang out, and go back home, go to bed. So I would say that's one of my favorite. Of course, there's like the nightclubs. I'd be out, till the sun came up sometimes. Everyone has to do that once in a while. Then you go straight to Blueberry Hill for breakfast. Right? Yeah, Brent agrees with me. Yeah. Get out the club, go to Blueberry Hill, and then you go home when the sun comes up at 7 a.m., those types of things. Very, very classic to Vegas, I think. But yeah, there's a lot more memories that I have of just, being out late night. But I would say the tacos and the nightclub are and downtown, of course, going downtown, bar hopping. Those three really stick out in my brain the most, I would say.
How about you, Brent?
My favorite memories are almost all indisputably Chinatown, or the once and maybe to return, if we're lucky someday, the Smith's Run at 4 a.m. Those are the two big ones. We can't do Smith's Runs at 4 a.m., but Chinatown's going strong. And, watching the sunrise from the windows at Achiza is a real special, magical event. Because you've done something, whether it be damage your liver or fall in love that evening. So
I was literally going to piggyback off of Achiza. I have a mental list of places that I like that are late night currently and like 24/7. I'm sure we're going to get into it a little bit more, but it's funny that you said Achiza. Achiza is literally the spot that you would go to super late night, get that nice Japanese meal. Everything's like authentic. It's so delicious. It's like 4:00 in the morning. You're eating amazing food.
And and it's a crazy variation of people. Like the club kids are over here, weird tourists are there, and some punk rock kids that just got released from the Double Down. It's a cacophony. It really is a microcosm of the city at a certain point. Who's up at Achiza at 4 in the morning? Those are the people you want to know, right?
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. And I will say this, that I much rather eat way back in the day at Achiza late at night than any time in history at Blueberry Hill. Let's just say we can call Blueberry Hill storied, but it's cheap and it's available, and that's kind of where it ends.
It's something you just got to do.
Just got to be real.
You got to do it once. It goes hand in hand with the nightclub experience.
Once, twice, 100 times.
Right.
Come on, like a cherry pie at 3 in the morning with a cup of black coffee. It's straight out of Twin Peaks.
we could swap stories about IHOP or Caro's or Blueberry Hill over the years for sure. One story I always tell, and regular listeners to the podcast probably have heard me say this before, but I'll never forget just being out late and seeing, like, maybe at 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, Girl Scouts out in front of the local grocery store, which I think at the time was a Lucky's, just doing incredible gangbuster business, getting $100 bills from, like, greasy gamblers on their way in to go grab some ginger ale or something, and not even grabbing the box of cookies, or just getting one box and letting them keep the change. Very, very Vegas-y.
And David, whenever you tell that story, that's when I think that's community. That's Las Vegas in a nutshell. And also it's something that we've kind of lost. The 24-hour grocery store is very limited at this point. Even the Walmarts and the Smiths close at midnight, which is much, much later than almost any other metropolitan area. But still, there was a point in time where there are 3 a.m. Girl Scout cookies being sold, and there's a beauty and a sense of place to that can't be replaced in this current era.
And the wrongness of it. And, the fact that it is part of the hustle ethic of our community. But, these are the grave shift workers are out there, too, and they're actually buying. It's not just picking up on gamblers, but, just people getting off their shift, going in and needing things as well. I guess here's the question then that follows. Are we still in 2025? Can we call ourselves a 24-hour town?
Not the town we used to be. Mm-mm. Not the weird kind of greasy anything goes Wild West 24-hour town where businesses would stay open randomly, and people would kind of just be out on the streets. It's much more organized. It's much more chosen 24 hours. Of course, the bars are still open. You're never going to sleep on a Dino's or a Double Down or a Frankie's Tiki Room. They're going to be there for you. But outside of that culture, of that aspect of the city, the more mundane, the more domestic aspects like grocery stores and little shops, those have kind of gone away. And it's sad to see. But we are still, more than any other city in America, certainly, incredibly 24 hours, incredibly,
I agree with that as well. I think that there was a time where we could truly say, Las Vegas is a 24-hour city through and through. And unfortunately, at this, in this day and age, I feel like we can't say that confidently. But as Brent said, more than any other city, we have so much, to offer in terms of late night options for food and dining and entertainment that other cities just, they can't even match, I don't think. So while we're not really truly a 24-hour city anymore, I mean, unless maybe you go on the Strip, that's,
always going to be 24 hours.
Obviously that 2-3 mile stretch.
Even that is, the constant rotating diner that never closes has gone by the wayside, and they have operational hours now. There's a lot of that too that's missing. The hotel lobby culture, right, where you're sitting up at 3 a.m. and it's just full of people, full of drunk people stumbling around. On a Friday night, Saturday night, you're going to see that, but most days of the week, it's much more minimized than it was.
Yeah, agreed with that as well.
Guess what? CityCast has some news. I'm Sean McPherson, the host of CityCast Twin Cities.
And I'm Jane Sihu, and I'm the host of CityCast Seattle. Hey, if you have a friend in one of our cities, can you text them for us?
Yeah, something, simple like, hey, how's that rash doing? And do you listen to podcasts? Because I have one you're definitely going to like. After that, tell them that CityCast has helped you become more informed, more involved, and more connected to your amazing city.
We're going to help that person in Seattle who's been trying to make friends.
And we're also going to do that for that guy you only kind of knew in college who moved back to the Twin Cities after graduation.
Don't we all have that guy?
Yeah, and usually that guy is named Todd.
So did you text them yet?
Jane, let's just wait a minute. We don't want to rush anybody. We'll do a little small talk. How's everything going in Seattle?
Beautiful, beautiful. Fall leaves popping. How about Twin Cities?
Today, beautiful and sunshiny in St. Paul. Okay, Jane, I bet they are done texting by now, and I just want to remind them, hey, you, please tell that friend to subscribe to CityCast Twin Cities or Seattle, wherever you get your podcasts.
Or if you don't want to text them and you're really just on Instagram sending them DMs all the time with like funny videos, send them a DM of our latest videos. You can find us at CityCast Twin Cities or CityCast Seattle on Instagram. Thanks.
You know, the thing for me is that having grown up here and been around for such a long time, when I heard Last Call in a hot bar, I was like, when I heard it for the very first time. Was it as shocking to you as maybe it was to me to start hearing Last Call on the regular? And did that, cause us to lose a little something?
It's offensive, to be genuine. It's offensive to the culture and the spirit of the city. When I hear Last Call in a bar, in any kind of public space in Las Vegas, I feel like a little piece of the city dies. Thankfully, there are some places that there's never Last Call, and incredibly grateful for that.
Yeah, Last Call hurts a little bit, especially when you're trying to have a night out. You're already mentally prepared to be out late, and 1-2 o'clock rolls around, and they're like, "Last call for food," and you're like, "Well, what if I want to eat at 4? Your bar doesn't even close till 5. What if I want French fries with this drink?"
Yeah.
It hurts a little bit. It's true. And actually, I hate to bring it back around to David, as my favorite bar right now, Nocturnal, because while they're not open 24 hours, they are open late night, like 3 o'clock in the morning. But what I do like is that their food options are available up until their drink options are available.
Right until close, which is the rules. Those are the rules. You can't have a kitchen and shut it down. I remember, one of the sadder moments is like when I realized that the dispensary lounge had started having a last call on food. They never closed. The bar's always open. It's always there for you. But the restaurant started closing around 1 a.m, and I started going, no, I want blue cheese and burgers and French fries at like 3 a.m., guys. What's happening? What went wrong here? But they said,
I'm sure there's a whole world of short order cooks who are glad that new regime has come in. But I do have to say, why do you both think that this has changed? What was the shift to literally the last callification of Las Vegas?
I think it's several parts to that question and to the answer that follows.
Californians.
Yes, one is California, but no, I'm kidding. It's many people moving to this town, right? Not many people grew up the way that we did. Maybe as a local, you're very used to having a 24-hour town and being up all hours of the night doing all kinds of things, right? These people that are coming in to town that are moving here, they're not used to this type of lifestyle. They're like, oh, it's 10, 11 o'clock. Well, it's bedtime. I'm not going to be doing anything late night. So they're coming to town, but they're not really, spending money. They're not boosting the late night economy as perhaps a local would. So, businesses.
I want to stop on that for a second, Giselle, because that's a super interesting point, is that there's just not as much demand as our city grows for people who aren't used to it. And therefore, us, the ones who are talking right now and being nostalgic about, the no last call times, are outnumbered. And it's just not economically viable to keep it going for us hardcores. Is that your point? Because that's really interesting.
No, yeah, that is one of my points, definitely. A major point, too.
And I think it's not just that we're all aging out of late nights too. Most of the young people that are coming up now and would be doing this kind of crazy 3 a.m. There's also a massive cultural shift. People are going to stay home. They're going to play their video games. They're going to watch Netflix. They're not going to be out in the streets at 2 a.m. If it was 2001, even 2010, there's a very different culture that's happening now. And most of the people that live that lifestyle are over 30 or over 40 , and that's not
and you can only keep it up so long. The guy who's over that.
Yeah, you can't just keep running. The people that did do that, they're dead. I promise you, they're dead. Rip. Rest
or
in
they're
peace.
limping along. But yeah, I mean, Gen Z definitely drinks way less than,
Yes.
the prior generations as a, general rule. Obviously, there's
And
exceptions
actually,
everywhere.
Gen Z is, just now recently coming into the workforce. So they're just now making their money. They're not where the millennials are financially yet. So the millennials have all the money to spend. But like you
Do
said,
they?
they're just, more
sorry.
of the money to spend than the Gen Zers currently. But also, like, they're aging out of that 24-hour thing. They're starting families or, they got more responsibilities. So the Gen Zers, like, as you said, they don't drink as much. And, maybe they're also not like financially prepared to spend money, especially late night, especially.
I think also we're ignoring the elephant in the room, which is the reality of inflation, price gouging. The city's gotten more expensive, particularly within the last 5 years. And one of the reasons you could stay out all night at a Huntridge Tavern and then transition to a Blueberry Hill is because the menu was cheap, the drinks were cheap, the gas was cheap, and you had a whole 24-hour day evening, and it wasn't going to cost you your entire work shift, right? A whole day's worth of work. It was going to be $150, $200. It was going to be $40, $50, and you had something to put on your pockets, and you still had a good night.
Yeah, I'm sure there's also people yelling right now at the podcast. How are you not talking about COVID? COVID changed everything. And I think that's a valid point, too, is that it did make probably a lot of businesses sort of reevaluate their old school status quo economic models and decided, maybe we could just shut down a little earlier and not deal with it because, we have to bounce back from this terrible disease that's really creating this economic distress, right? And they never kind of turned back once COVID, while it's never gone away, it became less of an issue, and the masking and all that.
Yeah, a lot of those changes have remained since the pandemic, but I don't want to give COVID credit for that. I'm blaming the culture and the perception of business owners for that. If we demanded that our favorite late night spots stayed open an extra 2 hours, if we were there clamoring for it, or the business owners knew that that was a model they wanted to explore again or further, then those things would have bounced back. It's been a collective choice. We can't just leave it to like, oh, the pandemic changed things. We never asked for it back. We never requested or demanded it, which is the larger problem.
That's true.
Interesting.
I want a 24-hour library, by the way, Las Vegas. I've always wanted a 24-hour library, just somewhere quiet. You can go read books, get a cup of coffee, just hang out all day, all night in the middle of the city. That's it. So anybody wants to go in with me on that one?
I was going to say, I think this is something we gotta work on, right?
I need a financial backer. I'll figure it all out.
I'll work on it.
Okay.
We'll work.
Yeah, because there's all those people how to invest in libraries where people get books for free.
And this is the great part about a 24-hour spot. Like, it forces the businesses around it to stay open later, right? So you have like a boba place that would be closed at like 9 and they're closed at 11. You have a pastry shop that would be closed at 10, but they close at midnight. If you know that there's a pull, one place that's going to be open all day and all night, then you can your business can kind of work around and support that and make it a more fun space that's open later for everyone.
Well, let me ask you this. It's 3 a.m., a time when most cities indeed have shut down. What that we haven't mentioned yet are spots where you and your friends might go if you don't want to head home.
I would go to the oyster bar at Palace Station.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not like too crazy busy because it's open 24 hours. I think there's also an oyster bar at the South Point, right?
Yeah, and I think over at the
Durango.
Oh, yeah, in Durango.
Yeah. But the OG one, Palace Station, you could just sit at their bar and get their pan fried like seafood and just it's like handmade. It's like so delicious. I don't know. Oyster bar somewhere I want to go like late night if I have time on my hand to like wait in that line sometimes.
I want to take a minute to give a shout out to the last grocery store standing. They're actually relatively new, but Winco is open 24 hours. And a 3 a.m. Winco run feels a lot like a 3 a.m. Smith's run circa 2002.
Oh, good point. Good
Yeah.
point.
Wow, back in the day. Yeah, back again. What are some other maybe unexpected businesses, not just dining and entertainment, that are available to us here in our city 24 hours?
Besides dining and entertainment, I'm trying to think what else I would be doing at 3 a.m.
I mean, I wonder if its own bucket is like spearmint rhino.
Okay,
Because
you want to go into
that there's plenty of people at 3 a.m. who are like, I don't want to go home. Let's just head over to the Rhino.
You know
And,
what?
there's plenty of people who have that story because it's been there for like 30 years.
Okay, look, yeah, I have gone to the Crazy Horses, the Spearmint Rhinos, the Peppermint Hippos, and I'm not gonna lie, they're
And now we're talking Vegas.
And now we're talking Vegas.
Because no other city has a 24-hour strip club, I think.
No, I do think that some cities do have 24-hour strip clubs. Maybe not as many. They're just probably notorious for like one or two. But we are definitely known for the 24-hour strip club, and our strip clubs are also known for more than just what you would assume that they're known for. They're also known for having actually great chefs and good food. I know that sounds kind of crazy and interesting, but you're living in a city like Las Vegas with great service and hospitality, known for its food and beverage. Actually, some of these strip clubs are realizing that people are looking for late night spots. And of course, they're coming to spend money on what you would expect at a strip club. But they're like, hey, while you're here, why not have some really good food? So they're actually...
Why not have a steak?
Why not have a steak?
With a shake,
why not have
if you will.
ahi tuna sliders? They're actually changing up their
my.
menus and rebranding, at least in terms of like food and beverage offerings at these. And it's so funny. Like before the strip club, it was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I'm going to, of course, just see the strippers, spend the money, Now it's like, no, I'm going with my friends. We're going to hang out.
Yeah.
Like we're just hanging out at the strip club.
It's just but I mean, that's more of an East Coast, dirty South vibe where it was just like, that's a place you go to socialize, as opposed to like lap dances. I do want to bring up, we do have at least two 24-hour donut spots in the city still.
Good point.
What donut shops in particular are you thinking about, Brent?
Dulce Donuts and Donut Time with a Y. And both of them are 24 hours. They'll do you an okay breakfast, but you can get in there at 4 a.m. and get a box of donuts, and some cantankerous and sorrowful donut-making human being will be there to greet you as you are either way too wired to be asleep or way too tired to know what's good for you, and treat you to a wonderful pastry.
Sounds wonderful.
Well, and shout out also to the Forever and Always Winchell's over there on Eastern, north of the freeway, has maintained 24-hour status for eternity.
All of
I
time,
think will never not.
If those walls could talk.
Do we lose something as a city as some of the old school 24-hour identity spots disappear?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think we've lost a certain amount of charm and a certain amount of like awareness, right? Because if you are seeing people out at 4 a.m. after or before your shift begins, you feel a little bit more normalized. If you're just going straight from home to work and then straight back home because you don't think anything is open or you don't feel like you have anywhere to go, it isolates you, and a community of isolated individuals isn't a community at all.
Yeah, I agree with that statement too. I will also say that Las Vegas is known for being the city that reinvents itself. That's literally what we're known for. So maybe we're currently in an era where we're moving away from this, 24-hour late night spot, well, at least more than we were before. That's not to say it might not return or make a comeback, or with this new generation, they, start to say, hey, we want to be open late night, and it revamps and it comes back. But it's very different than the nostalgic old Vegas we were talking about, where you can get that like, $9 steak at, 3 a.m. and your $2 beer in downtown. It's not exactly like that. It's very different. But like I said, we are known for reinventing ourselves. So who knows? Later down the road, we could go back to.
If we can bring back raves, we can bring back anything.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying.
And David, I think that like you really put something in the lead there. Why should Vegas be a 24-hour city? Well, because for 3 months out of the year, it doesn't get below 90 degrees until 2 a.m. So we should be outside then when human bodies are capable of tolerating being outside, as opposed to trying to actually have a day at 115.
That's actually such a good point.
Well, Giselle and Brent, I appreciate you doing the hard work of staying up late and allowing your metabolisms to digest all this food in the middle of the night and sharing that with our listeners. Thanks so much for being here on CityCast Las Vegas.
Of course. Thank you. I'm happy to do the hard work for you.
Thanks, Dave. It's always a pleasure.
That's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend? You could also rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. And don't forget, you can support this show and get some great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Till then, stay lucky.